Hi guys, it's Belle here, and it is time to work on the tag for prompt 13 of hashtag the Oddtober24, hosted by the lovely April over at Pink Oddbird in collaboration with Priscilla at Release the Crafting. Please do put in this hashtag if you are following along or if you want to see what everyone else is doing. But before I tell you what today's prompt is, I did promise that I would show you what day 12's looked like with the dried crypt paste. So there we go. Now it's dried, it's really blended with the wool, and it just gives this really delicious texture on the wool. I really like it. I think it looks really good. I did notice one of you lovelies had said about maybe putting moss between the cracks and stuff, and I did consider that. I didn't go with it, but I actually think it's a really good idea. So I think if I'd left some of the actual wooden planks a bit more raised, I could have tucked tiny bits of moss in, and that would have looked absolutely brilliant and would have tied it with some of the other tags that I worked on. But yes, so that's what it looks like. Love, 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 love the grunge paste, the crypt texture paste on there, and I'm just keeping it closed at the moment with Tim Holtz clip. It doesn't really need it, but that's what I'm doing. So today's tag, let's look at the prompt. There's some sort of gallery wall in here, pictures of people. Is that my relative? Oh, and the smiling man. And who's that woman? So the relative, I'm thinking, would have been from the first year of prompts, 2022's prompts, because I remember doing a page where it's meant to be a portrait of your relative. The smiling man, I'm assuming, is from the carnival, but I didn't do 2023's prompts. And then who's that woman? So realistically, it's going to be nice and simple, this tag. Although every time I say that, I get comments going, you say it's simple, Belle. But so I've already, this is a Tracy Fox digital from her Curious Case of Craftly Haul kit. And I have done what you've seen me do several times already. I have wet it and sprayed it with black soot, vintage photo and cracked pistachio distress oxide sprays. If you don't have the sprays, you don't have to do this. Or you could use inks. You could even just splatter paint on it, guys, if you don't have the sprays. So I wouldn't worry too much if you don't have those. But I just like to add it because I think it distresses what is already distressed paper really, really well. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to glue this. Still feels a little bit damp. I just dried it a bit more with my heat tool. The thing is, if it's damp, it's more likely to rip a little bit, and I don't want that. So now I want this to be an accordion fold. So I'm going to grab my scoreboard, and this is, my tags are 3.5. which I worked out is about 9. So I hope that's right. 3.5 inches, which is about 9 centimeters, give or take. That's what I'm going with. So it's 9, then it'll be 18, it should be. Me and maths, not friends. And then it should be about 27 for the cut. That's what I'm hoping. Okay, we'll see if I actually managed any maths at all. I'm going to fold this at the fold. I just want a gentle fold, because if I have to refold it, I don't want to make it too, what's the word, of a burnished fold. That actually works okay. If we move that just a smidge over. Okay, So now I'm going to push this down. Now, I am going to probably use magnets because I love magnets. But realistically, you don't have to. You could use one of these. You could use a paper clip. You could use, sorry about that, guys. You could use some ribbon, realistically. I'm just going to use magnets because I like using them. And I don't think I've used any in any of these tags yet. So I'll tear that off. And that is going to go on the tag and open like that. So you'll see we'll have the 3. Or do I like that the other way? Well, it can't go that way now. Well, it could open out that way. No, it's going to go this way. So now I have to work out about magnets realistically, because I'm thinking I would need one on either side. But will they go through that much paper? That is the question. One there, under there. And it could be on there. But this one will have to go on this side. And it would be under there. I could do it in 4 corners. But that's a bit of a waste of magnets. I don't know. Okay, let's think about this. I think if we do the middle, that'll be fine. So the other thing I need to do is I need to make sure this is cut to height. I think I actually cut it slightly bigger. Oh, that's almost to height. Yay me. It's just a smidge taller. So I thought I'd cut it a little bit taller to give me more wiggle room. But you know what? It works, so it's fine. I think it comes off the tag a little bit. I don't mind that either. Okay, let's get this in place again. Like so. All right. And I think I'm going to just trim that little edge that's a bit torn there. I think I'm just going to trim it a smidge. So yeah, every time I do simple, I get comments like, that wasn't simple, Belle. But I suppose what I mean by simple is often that there's not too many different techniques and things. I'm trying to work out if I want to stitch all the way around each of these as well, because if I do, that will affect where I put the magnets. And I think I do want to stitch around it. So let's see if this would work. Right, let's put the magnet down first. And if the well, I know it would work there, but would it work if it was on this piece of paper? Yes. Okay, excellent. So if I do the magnet then here, and for once I was gonna not put any washi around it, but I normally like some washi around it, but as I'm going to stick this straight down, I don't think I need washi at the moment. So all the way around the edge, and I'm going to stitch. Really need it there. Okay, let's close this back up. Let's bring the tag down. Make sure it's at that bottom. And the top. I think I sort of cut it at a weird angle there. Okay, right, that's better. And yeah, we've got our magnet just there. I will leave the link down below of the magnets I tend to use, to be honest, guys, I know I get a lot of questions on this as well. This is the size of magnet I tend to like, which is a 5mm by 1mm. These ones, because I bought the wrong ones ages ago and I'm still using them, these ones are 8mm by 1mm. You can see, let me just move this, you can see the width difference. Now, realistically, I do still quite like these. They're still thin enough. They're just bigger. And therefore, when I'm stitching, I really have to take that into account. So either or, I'll leave the links down below. They will only be for the UK Amazon. I just get mine off Amazon. But that's where I get mine from. So that's kind of the thing. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, I couldn't find my black soot then. I was like, where's my black soot? So we've got our magnet down. I'm going to go around all these edges, especially as some of the white tag is showing. It's fine. It's what Distress ink and other inks are for. So yes, I will leave the Amazon that I got my magnets from, because I know I always have a lot of questions on that. Again, it's 5mm by 1mm or 8mm by 1mm. It just depends. And please be careful with these magnets, especially if you have fur babies. Make sure you don't drop them because of the type of magnets they are. Yeah. You don't want, if you've got a little kitty like mine who likes to eat or chew on metal and things, you've got to be super careful when using them. That's why I keep mine definitely in a little tin, all put away safely. You can use Velcro instead of magnets. I just prefer magnets. One, I like the sound of them. Two, I don't like the look of Velcro on my projects. Magnets can be more easily hidden, I feel, than Velcro. So it's personal choice, guys. And also you don't have to use any, like I said, you can use a clip, a paper clip, a ribbon. Like you could have put a ribbon underneath this bottom sheet. You could have put a ribbon all the way under there before you glued it down. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go stitch around here and around here and around here. But then I was thinking, well, should we do the magnets first? Because I do have an idea for the magnets. Because you will see I've done another strip. Now it's not going to match exactly, but it's going to match enough. Do you know what I've gone and done? Were you screaming at me? I've done one side and not the other. How silly. Do you know what? It's absolutely fine. I'll just do what I was going to do. I mean, I could try and pull it off, but it's quite well stuck now. No, I'm not going to pull that off. Okay. Sausage me. We're going to put that there. Okay. And I do need to make sure it's moved over. So I'm going to get some of this paper. I've got some card underneath it to make sure that it punches properly. And I'm going to get my circle hole punch. This is, I think, a 1 inch one. I'm going to cut out one. And this was a tip. I can't remember who I saw it on. But if you've got a thinner piece of paper that might rip as you're punching, put some card underneath it, because that should make it better. Easier to punch out cleanly. So I am going to use this on the wallpaper because I think, you know, we're not even going to put ink around it. That there. Okay, and I might just need one more magnet. I might be able to stick all of them together Really making sure I'm getting glue all the way around this. And again, move it over, Belle. Move it over. Because you're going to stitch. That's why I decided to put this on first, because I might have to stitch over. So yeah, it kind of blends. No, I might need another one. Okay, that's okay. Let's do that. And then I've got this scrap to use in other bits too. Okay. Let's get rid of that. All right then. So 2 more magnets. Right. And this is how I do it. If you've watched me, you'll know I let the magnet that I'm working on just attach itself. Put a dab of glue. Tap over the paper. Tap onto the magnet. I've got a touch of glue on this side. I can then pick the magnet up. Make sure that you're putting it glue side down where the glue is. And then that's how which one do I think? It's more brown on this one. That's how I make sure my magnets meet. Normally, I would also use washi to keep it in place, but that's only on the inside of a pocket and stuff, because it's in the pocket, it's hidden, you don't need to worry. And that should, there you go, attach itself. Now I have to unattach it. Okay, and now we need to work on, yeah, it's going to be this side. So again, put the magnet, dab a tab of blue, press that down. Got our glue here. Can you see that? Got our glue there. Get the magnet, glue side down here. Perfecto. And then we are going to, do I have a bit of one of those black bits on it? I do. I'm wondering if I want that instead. Do you know what? Let's not overthink it, Belle. Let's just put that on there. Which side? That side's better. Okay. And then that can go down. And then once that is down and glued, then make sure those edges are all nice and secure. Then, oh my goodness, I just love that sound. Like, listen, guys. So it still comes up a little bit. I was thinking about putting magnets in all 4 corners, but that would use 8 magnets or whatever. Double the amount of magnets I'm using now. So, yeah, I didn't want to do that. Okay, I am going to go and stitch all the way around each one individually, and then I will be back. All right, so I've kind of staggered, or I thought I'd staggered, but I didn't think these two kind of match up. I've kind of staggered where I've stopped and started. We've got stitching all the way round. I just want to reiterate, if you are new to using magnets and you stitch, please make sure that 1, you think about that when you're placing your magnets and you leave a good space, and 2, that when you are stitching and you're getting close to where the magnet is, just really slow your stitching down. I've been using magnets for ages and stitching, and so I kind of know by sight, because I'm used to doing it, where my magnets should be. But even then, guys, I will always slow down when I come anywhere near the magnet to make sure that that needle in the sewing machine does not hit the magnet, fly off and blind me. It shouldn't do if it's all in the right place, but just be careful, guys. So please take that into account. I'm loving that. It's looking great already. So this is the first page, obviously, and the first prompt. So what I did was I cut out a load of frames and images. The frames are from, again, Tracy Fox's Craftly Haul, Curious Case of Craftly Haul kit. I had them left over. I thought about using what I've got. And then the images are a mix of, let me see, Art House Whimsy, the Vintage Halloween Photo Collection, and Art House Whimsy, the Vintage Horror Photos. So again, I will leave both of those down below. We need to start, I want to start with the one that's supposed to be my relative. And guys, I wanted Creep. So this one, I believe, is the one this is the one I chose to be my relative. It looks a bit like, in the original 2022 prompts in my journal for that, I actually used a vintage photo. Let me just grab it. So this is the journal I made for the 2022 prompts. And the one, there is a playlist of this, so you can check it out. The one that was the relative was this one. And I think this, actually, I feel like they look a bit similar, maybe at different ages. And obviously in one she's smiling and one she's grumpy. But I actually think they have a similar nose and eyes. So that is why I chose this image. Obviously you don't have to do that. If you did both prompts, you don't have to do that. It's just the way my brain works. So I'm just distressing some of this. I also want my crackle stamp out. I'm going to be using that a lot. Again, this is the Marianne Designs Texture Crackle Stamp MM1628. I use it all the time. So yeah, you really don't have to, guys, match it up. But I felt like she looked kind of similar. And so that's why I wanted to do that. I reduced the size of some of the frames. I think I reduced it to 75% of the size that it should be when I was printing out, so that they were, because I had some bigger ones left, but the big square ones, I'm trying to see if I can grab one. The big square ones, I'm just trying to see. No, I can't find one right beside me. We're just too big. They wouldn't have worked. And then I've cut the middle out, obviously. Now I could have used acetate as well in here. I decided not to. I do want them all at slight angles. Also, I'm going to be adding lots of plants because that's my jam. So I'm just getting all my die cuts over. And we will be adding plants and all sorts to this. And I'm wondering, as this is the first one, first page, I really do want a big plant on here. So yeah, links will be down below. So check those out. I am loving working with Art House Whimsy's kits. I mean, I bought them with my own money. This is not like an ad or anything like that, but I'm loving working with them. They're super creepy, some of them. I mean, I know they're supposed to be, but like, they're super creepy. I'm thinking actually I want that on top. I don't want it underneath, which would be quite good. And then let's bring in a different shade, because I've been using lots of the same shades. But I just feel like that really bright green, even though I'm going to dull it down, is almost too bright. I don't know. It's almost too bright. Let's have a look. We can add this one, I think. There is going to be a word on here too. So we want that one going under and that one going over, just to make my life extra difficult. Why don't we? Let's see what that looks like. Almost like the plants are obviously going all over. So let's ink these up, because they can't go on without being inked. And I also have some digital quotes that I'm going to see if I want to add, and which one I want to add rather, because I am going to add one. But we're going to do that once we've done all the photos. So this has to go under, but I'm only doing the top ones right now because this is going to go here roughly, and we still have to put this, and I'm only doing the bottom ones. So we'll put that there because it's going to go under this one, just to make my life extra difficult. Yeah, Belle. Again, what do we say here? Why make it easy? Oh, dear me. Okay. And now I'm going to glue her. Now, again, I could have put acetate and all that kind of thing on top of this. I would normally with pictures, but I want to use some crackle paste. I've used a lot of my other texture pastes, but I haven't used any crackle. So I wanted to use some crackle paste on here, which I don't know where I want to put it yet. So I thought, right, well, I'm not going to use the acetate or the glass. So this is meant to be my relative from, well, from the first lot of prompts, which was A Horrible Spooky House. And I wrote a whole story for that one. I didn't just do the prompts, I actually wrote a story, which is making me think I'm going to have to come up with a story for this one. And what I did with the last one, I actually read the story out at the end of the, when I did a flip through. So I'll probably do the same this time. Okay, and then we've got the smiling man. Now, I kind of... I decided to be a little bit weird and funny. I know. And I decided to use this picture from Art House Whimsy because it says the smiling man and he's not smiling. And I know that, guys, but that's what tickles me, because maybe he was the smiling man at the carnival, but in this picture, he's not smiling. He doesn't have to be. It's just the same person who was the smiling man. And he's just so serious and also super creepy. That it tickled me. I know. That's just how my brain works, guys. So it made me laugh that he wasn't smiling, but he's actually super creeping me out. His face is really creeping me out. So I'm really glad, actually, that he's going to be in the middle and he's not on the front tag, because I don't want that. He's giving me the creeples. So yes, and obviously we're going to be adding some flowers or foliage. I was going to rip holes again, but that would be difficult to do. Especially as I'm going to be putting, it's a gallery wall, so there's going to be photos on the other side as well. Oh, it's so creepy. He's so creepy, guys. I just don't like him. Can ya guess I don't like him? Just makes me go, bleh. We could still have some brown brought in because we're still in the treehouse, aren't we? Oh, I like that there. Talk about get distracted. I don't know why I'm putting it there, because I'm supposed to be putting a word. So... but I like it. So we're going to do it because I like it. So yes. I don't even know what I was saying now. But it just tickled me that he wasn't smiling in this one. Although he's kind of like he's smizing. You know that when you're smiling with your eyes? He's smizing in a really, really creep way. No, thank you, Mr. Creepy Man. So we're going to do that. All right, we've got to get him on, and I need to stop fussing with the other page. That's what I need to stop doing. Thinking about putting this kind of like that. Yeah, let's do that. I need to put the plants down before I work out, before I stick the picture down, just because I need to work out what I'm doing with the plants, and then I stick the picture down, as you're seeing, because because I just want to be able to put them where I want them and be able to move them if I need to. So yeah, now we can just about put him down. I'm wondering about having another one coming over the top like so, like if I did one like that, or if I do one, that one can be there. We're going to add other things to this as well, so that's why I'm kind of playing. No, we're going to put this at the top. All right. Ink it, Belle. Ink it. This is how my hands get so filthy, because I'm holding this as I'm inking teeny tiny bits of die cut. But that's okay. So yeah, I said simpler, and I know you guys are going to go, Belle, you said simple again, and it's not. But it's basically just an accordion tag with some images stuck on it. So to me, I mean, you can make this simply without too much fuss. You don't even have to make it accordion if you don't want to. When I was looking at doing it at first, I was just going to have a flat tag and then have the pictures kind of on top of each other with an eyelet so that they swung out, and that would work too. So whatever you've got, use what you have. And I'm a great believer in using up digital kits, because if you're like me, I've said this before, I overprint when I'm working on digitals because I want to have enough. And then I'm just left with loads of different things and I want to use them. So this is actually a vintage photograph. You can see some of the writing on the back, but the photo is quite destroyed around the outsides. And ironically, she actually looks like my great-grandmother. It's not one of my photos. It's a vintage one, but she does look like my great-grandmother, which is a bit freaky. So I'm freaking myself out with these things. I mean, between using the photos and photos that looks like my great-grandmother. So this is the strange woman that we're like, who's that woman? She just looked perfect in this frame. So this is a real vintage photo from 1910, maybe, I think it is. Something like that. And we're going to have her more up this way. So yeah, just putting it out there. You can use vintage photos too. Obviously, you don't have to. You can just get digitals, as I've used here. But I have this vintage photo, so I just thought, let's use it because... just because, basically. I'm going to have some leaves poking out. I like that. All right, so we're going to stick this down. First of all, I'm going to glue the top of this, I think. I'm going to glue her slightly. So it's weird how much she looks like my great-grandmother. Actually, my great-great-grandmother. What am I talking about? It's actually my great-great-grandmother I have a photo of looking a bit like this. Although I think hers is completely in black. She's wearing a black shirt and one of those Victorian cameo things. Hair all up and glasses and stuff. So actually, she probably would have fit better in here. But I don't know. All right, now let's stick the rest of this down. And if you don't have die cut leaves and things, especially if you're new to crafting, you won't have lots of different things. You could just cut some out of, well, you could draw some. If you're even half okay, good at drawing, you could draw some leaves and cut them out. Or you could cut some out of magazines and things and use them on your project. So there are ways around making things if you haven't got everything, you know. And even images. You can find images in magazines and that. I do want, yeah, I like that. Do I want it further up? No, I actually like it down here. Okay, so we've got them. And then, yeah, I think what I might do is I might do the others off camera and then come back and show you the other images, because you've seen these ones and I don't want this to be needing 2 videos. So I'll do that off camera and then I will be back. Okay, so we finished that side, and then what I did was I did this side. So I've actually done 2 photos on here in the smaller frames and things, and I mean, I've chosen creepy ones. This is meant to be a kid's playhouse, so I wanted some that looked almost trick-or-treaty. Again, just used lots of foliage and crackled the images. This is very ghostly up there. And then what I was thinking is old photo frames often used to have plaques on them sometimes, mainly paintings, but we're going with that kind of idea. And I wanted to, I've got a load of little Tim Holtz, the apothecary clippets kind of thing. Most of them I've inked around, and most of them I've inked around enough that you can't even see what's on them, because I basically want these to be almost unreadable to me in the treehouse. That's what I want. So I mean, not all of them are going to have something, but I just thought that was quite a fun kind of idea to do that. And again, it just adds a little bit of interest to the tag. Just adds a little bit of something, summit to the tag. I think I kind of like that there. I might even want to do that one off to the side. It should really be in the middle, but do you know what? Let's not be too pernickety. I know, says me. I mean, that's, yeah. Okay. Let's have a look. I feel like that go really well there, yeah. Just thought it'd add a little something. Almost like someone's come along and written the names of everyone down, but you can't see it anymore. Ooh, 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 ooh. Got it. Don't even know which way that goes round. That's how much I've inked it. Well, it's going this way now. And that is that. We have this death-like one. He gives me if any of you are Discworld peeps, you know, he gives me the death from Discworld. But do you know what I'm actually going to do? I'm actually going to cut this because it's too big as is. So we're going to cut it in half. Now it'll work better on his frame. Yes. So, doo-doo. And then this one. She can have hers to the side as well. You can see that I've added like some tree branches, especially down the bottom here, because again, this is in the tree house, so I wanted to give that kind of link to the fact that this is in the tree house. All right, on top of all that, I have a ton of bats because I've got the Tim Holtz sort of grey ones that I don't tend to use, because these ones, I don't mind the bigger ones, but the smaller ones I don't tend to use because I don't really like these bats. And I thought, what better place than to just add them. Now they're going to blend quite a bit, but that's okay. I don't mind the fact they're going to blend with the background. I've got some bugs as well. I want to see if the bugs are I'll see if the bugs will fit with the background, if I can get it to, because, you know, feel like they fit quite well with the background. They blend really well, this one. I feel like it should be over here. So let's add a bug too. Let's ink around it a little bit, because there's some white edges on that. So let's just add one of these bugs, you know, crawling on the wall. We're in a tree house after all. A creepy tree house. That also, with that, no, I can't lift that. I was going to have it underneath, but there we go. A creepy tree house that has a note to me in it. And now my relative. I mean, come on. It's too much, people. It's too much. Too creepy. Too creepy. I feel like we should put one over here. I want a word, though. We could still have a word if I put that there. We could still do that. I just want to use them. I've had them for ages and I don't tend to use them, like I said. So I just really wanted to... Got another beetle. I feel like I want to use that for something else. I just wanted to use these up so that they're getting used. Let's do those ones down there, shall we? I don't know why I'm placing them where I'm placing them. I know you can't really see them on some of the backgrounds, but that's okay. It gives that bit of interest. I still don't know if I like these bats, you know. I really just, they're just not my favourite. So, but we're using them. And that's what matters. I think I'm going to put one right there. So we've still got the lady. I did have some black ones too. I think in reality, I think I prefer these. These are from my die cut. I only have 2 of them left, realistically. Now I'm thinking, did I want to come in and do these ones? That's already glued down. Let's get that up. Oh, it's bringing some of the paper with it. Oh no, I ripped the bat off the wing. Right, well, good job this is scrunchy paper, hey. Worst comes to worst, I could always have taken a bit from the spare piece that I distressed. But I don't know, I just like the black. I feel like the black stands out more. And the same over here. I'm hoping I can get that up. Let's just ink that. It's fine. It's all good. Yeah, I think I want to mix. I just don't like those ones. But then I want to use them because they're just sitting there doing nothing. Maybe if I gloss them or distress them or something. Not distressed because they'd even look even more in a way that I don't like. So we have a large black one there. Yeah, that's going up there. And do I have another small black one? I have another large black one. I just took whatever was left over from my what's it called kit, my vampire journal. I have another large one that could work. We've got a beetle. We haven't got any bats here, so we could put a bat there. Let's do it up there. We've got one of the grey ones there, so we get a grey and a black on here. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so I like that now. And now I want to add, where's my lid? So I have a few things from Release the Crafting. That's not going to work on there now. I liked the Come Little Children from Hocus Pocus. I also have By the Pricking of My Thumb, Something Wicked This Way Comes. And we have a Familiar Spirit, which I think works really well because she is a familiar spirit, because it's our ancestor. Should really say spirits because the smiling man, but you know. And again, these are just Release the Crafting ones. There's lots on their Etsy. I will leave the link down below. I will try and find the exact one that this came from. I have a lot of them, so I wanted to use them. And then I have lots of little bits. Let's get my little paper box out too, because I want to use bits. We do have some of this tea-dyed doily. Let's just take some of that because we may use it. And some of that because we probably will use that. I don't think I want any music. I've got some of this black. Let's take it. Let's see. So, and obviously we've got some bits of lace and some cheesecloth because we've been bringing that in. So we've got this, and I definitely think I want some of this. We've used it in other layering bits, and I just think it'll work. And just add some texture. Don't know if I want some of this. We haven't laid and put any of this on anything else. But that doesn't mean we can't use it. We can bring it in and then bring it onto something else. So, because I kind of like that, but will it get hidden once we add some lace bits? We've got just a little bit of lace there. We could kind of bring that in randomly. And then just a smidge of this, I think, and then we will be done with the layering here. Just a smidge. I've got all these scraps from all the other bits that I've cut, so why not? Okay, and if I maybe put it up so that it get off my finger. Let's turn it around because there's a bit of green there and then there's green there. So I don't want the green right next to the green. Although I suppose it will look like the plant's bleeding into it, wouldn't it? Okay, so I think I like that. So let's glue, and I'm probably going to stitch as well. But if I just glue bits down now, like to there. And then this, and then this. Oh, you moved. Like so. Oh, you all moved. And then that will go on there. Let's pull this up and just do it like so. And then that will be actually over here. I did it in the wrong place. All right, I am going to go stitch around that and then we will glue it down. So I have done a double kind of wonky stitch around that. And now we're going to glue that down because they are familiar spirits. Or at least two of them are. But who, pray tell, is the strange old woman in the last big photo? I guess we're going to find out. What I want to do is, because I've got a lot of layers on here, I want to, yeah, it still does. I was just checking, guys, that the magnet still worked. I was like, oh, that is on layers. Okay, I also have some of the Tim Holtz Spooky Halloween Clip-Its. I had the individual sheets as well as obviously I have the booklets. And I am desperately trying to use these sheets up because they're basically the same and as the booklets. And I've just got loads of words on here I haven't used. So I want to use these up before I start really digging into my new ones. I've got lots from the last few years, so my dead body, I feel like that should be there, don't you guys? Because he is a skelly. He is a skeleton. So we're going to put my dead body there. And we could have, let's have a look, amusements up here. We could have amusements just because they're amusing themselves, the creepy children with the trick. Honestly, if someone came to my door trick-or-treating looking like that, I would just be, I'd be giving them all the candy, and then I would be locking my door for the rest of the night. And I'm not used to just putting something down flat. I'm used to it having like a bit of backing. So I think that's throwing me, but we're just putting it down like that. I can go around it with my black pen. It's all good. Let's have a look at what we could have here. Danger signals, foolishness. Oh, we want that for the creepy lady up there who's ghostly. That's what we want. Yes, we do. Foolishness to go anywhere near her. That's what that is. Like if she's coming towards you, just go the opposite way, peeps. Don't go near her. I don't like it. It's stuck. It's fine. This one. This creepy. We've got moody and despairing. Well, yeah. They're moody and despairing, honestly. Whoa. Yeah, just be locking the door. Be like cleansing the whole house. Be like, no, thank you. Not today, creeper children. So that's going to go there. She doesn't need one. From the depths of his soul. A strange feeling comes over you. If I were an undertaker, now that just makes me chuckle. If I were an undertaker, I'd look great. People would be like, yeah, you look good. That's what we come here for, some creepy guy. Obviously, we don't, but, yeah, domestic servant. No, a good night's work. The fragile texture of a spider's web. I kind of like that, even though it does not. That ugliness hurts like physical pain. Okay, that's dreadful. And we've got that I will never leave you again, which the other guy outside said, didn't he? No, we're going to have the silence of the night. But yeah, maybe I should have had I will never leave you for the relative. It's going to ink this up. The silence. Well, it just says silence of the night, but you know what I'm saying. And then we want with this one, we've got a name, Amelia Hardy, but I don't want to know her name. I want it to be who, which, and that. My dear madam, is something the matter? Yes, I've just seen the creepy smiling man in the other picture. Oh, okay. Danger. She felt dimly that the end was not yet. Strange feeling comes over you. I think I'm going to have that because that's what we're going to do. And I'm wondering about cutting it in two, actually. So we're going to have that for the creeper ladder. Creeper ladder. She's not actually creepy. I apologise, but she's given me creeps feels in this. I think probably more so because she does look like my great-great-grandmother. But I don't know how I feel about using my great-great-grandmother in something that is this creepy. I'm not sure she would have appreciated it. Being the daughter of a priest. So, okay. I'm going to go around this with my black pen and then I'll show you what that looks like. All right, that helps. They stand out a little bit, which I like. So that's what it looks like on the front. I also want to add I want to add an eyelet to this one. Let's move that down. Let's make sure that's in the middle. Yeah, I want to add an eyelet to this. And obviously I want a dark one, so we want a dark greyish one. That'll do. Dark grey, almost black. Oh, I need to replenish those. I'm almost out. No surprise there, because they're probably one of my most used. And then just put that in there. Okay, because I have magnets on here, it's wanting to stick to the metal of my crocodile. Okay, and I also have this box of scraps. These are like my long scraps that work on the sides of pages and things. So I thought we'd probably find some stuff in here, and we already have found some stuff, but I feel like I want more than that. I want another, don't just want sari silk. Oh, I like that. Let's cut that down to size and use that as well. Okay, so yeah, you can see I'm really trying to use things up. I'm trying to use digitals. I'm trying to use my Tim Holtz Clip It sheets. I'm trying to use scraps that are in my scrap boxes, fabric ones. Let me grab my large scissors. I'm trying to use die cuts up that I've used for other projects. I'm just trying to use things up because I have a lot of stuff and I need to use it, rather than constantly die cutting new stuff or printing new things out, although the Art House Whimsy is new, but that's okay. The background paper, the die cuts and lots of the other bits weren't new, so I'm happy with that. I think I want this even smaller, you know, some kind of, oh, that did not work, did it, Belle? Normally sari ribbons is good at cutting. Let's try that. Right, that's better, and I want that really torn. And I think I'm going to do the same with this, the black piece. I mean, do we need to? No, we're going to just put that through like so. All right then. So we're going to put these through here and hope that they go through, because they're quite chunkles. Come on. Come on. There we go. Right, let's find the middle of all of these. So let's hold this neatly while I try and pull without ripping anything. Love it. I mean, that's all a bit long, so it's just cut in random places. I don't want it all the same length. Ugh. Love that. Love it. Now, obviously, we could just leave it there, couldn't we, guys? We could do. I mean, that would be the simplest thing to do. But I kind of wanted to add some crackle paste to it, just because I feel like it's lacking a little something. Oh, dear. I have no restraint, guys. I really don't. So... it's the Tim Holtz Crackle Paste Translucent, because then it will pick up some of the inks underneath, as well as we can add other things on top if we want. And I'm just gonna kind of randomly add it. And why, I hear you say, or sometimes I have people say, oh, why did you add that? So my reasoning behind adding the crackling paste is that these walls are disgusting. This treehouse, and obviously I've used grit paste in the other ones for that kind of gross effect. But I wanted to use something a bit different this time, and also crackle paste reminds me of cracked glass, and as we're working with a gallery wall, I thought instead of putting it, I mean, I can put it on the images themselves which probably would have been the better maybe thing to do. But instead of doing that, I want to add it to the actual tag to give the tag that grungy feel, and to give the tag really just link in the idea of the pictures. I don't know, it's the way my brain thought, so that's what I'm going with. You just got to follow what your brain's telling you, even if you're like, why? Just add the crackle paste. Now, normally with the crackle paste, you have to put it on relatively thick to get really good cracks in it. I don't always, I'm going to be honest, sometimes I put it on thinner. You don't get as thick cracks, but there we go. Now, I've got to try and do this side whilst that side's still wet. So that's not going to happen, is it? But I can hold this like this, so I can at least do this one. And then where am I going to put this? Okay, we can hold it like this. And then I can put it up to stand, you see? So it doesn't bother me that I'm doing both sides, because I'll just have it standing up. And then I'll have to leave this to dry, and then we'll see what it looks like and whether we want to add any inks on top or whether we want to add anything else on top. I'll just put my finger in that one. Well done me. I'm wondering where it's going to go on here, you know. If you're like down here where the bug and the plant is, it'll go really nicely there. So yeah, I could have put it on the images, but I used my crackle stamp instead. I could have used acetate that was inked. There's so many things you could do with the images. Yeah, there's just so many things, but I don't. I was thinking of putting it over the bend. Would it be able to bend then? That's what we've got to ask ourselves. I just thought it would be nice, seeing as that's meant to be the one wall, but we're not going to do that. We're going to put it here randomly up by the bat. So this might take quite a while to dry because I am putting it on quite thickly, as I said. I'm going to put a bit there. So that's my thinking. I know sometimes I do get questions, why did you add that? Or what was it you were trying to do? And that's why. We're working with a photo gallery, and I didn't want to keep using the same ones that I'd been using, the crypt paste and that, which I love, don't get me wrong. But I just thought I'd do something a bit different. So I'm going to have this standing up like this, and it's going to dry. And when we come back, we're going to decide whether we want to ink on it once it's dry, or whether we want to use alcohol inks, or whether, because alcohol inks will seep through the other side if I use them, or whether we're just going to leave it plain. So I'm going to leave that to dry. Okay, so the crackle paste is basically all dry, almost. Where it's a bit thicker, it's still not wet exactly, but still has the whiteness. So let's show you here. You can see some of the white here, but you can also see where it's picked up some of the ink, and here. And the only other thing is, I think because I use matte photo paper, it sometimes brings up some of the paper, but I don't mind that. It adds to the grunge. And I have decided I'm going to just put a finishing touch of some alcohol inks on here. It should also go through to the other side. So we are going to do that. I have latte and I have lettuce because I wanted to bring in a teensy bit of that green, and I'm just going to add it to the crackle paste just in places. And then I've got some of the blending solution, so if I add that to it, it can help move it a little bit. And then we're going to add a smidge of the lettuce because I want some of that darker, almost picking up, you know, because we've got leaves and that on here. I want that effect, almost like it is the grunge and the moss and all that good stuff. Let's put some more blending solution on there. So let me bring that up to you. So it's got like a mold type effect now, guys. And it dries quite quickly. Can you see where it's gone through to the other side? So we're going to have a lot of different like areas on here that will discolor the other areas. So if you don't like that, then I don't suggest you use the alcohol inks. That's all I can say to that. But if you don't mind, which I don't because I think it adds to the grungy effect, then just add it a little bit if you want to. Let's add in some of that lettuce. So we've got that there. A bit more of that. Look. Ugh, yucky yuck. It's just so disgusting. It's like there's mold all over the wall, which is exactly what I'm going for because that's what I want. All right, I'm going to do that with all of it and then come back. Okay, so that's now finished. And what I also did in places, let me try and show you. Where does it look best? Here. I had my heat tool really, really close and it helped the texture paste, the crackle glaze, bubble up a little bit. So now you have this three-dimensional, really grungy. So you've got the crackle. Look, so we've got crackle here, but then we've got bubbling and discoloration there. And I love it. It's like it's really great. Do you know what I've decided as well? I'm just going to stop saying that I'm making a simple tag because this has not turned into a simple tag and it's a very long video and I apologize in advance. And I'm just never going to say again, well, not during this series, that these are simple tags. So yeah, if you don't like the effect, you can see where some of it's leaked through here, then this is not for you. But I love how grungy that is and how well it just then goes together like that. And you open it up. We could probably do with a bit more brown in here too. But I like the greeny brown grunge. And we can open it this way. And we can open it completely and it can stand up like that. So let's get the prompt again and we will be done. So day 13, let's write it on the back. There's some sort of gallery wall in here. Pictures of people. Is that my relative? Oh, and there's the smiling man. Sorry, still makes me tickle. And who's that woman? So we have our gallery wall. There's mold and grunge and disgustingness everywhere. I would not be staying in this treehouse for more than 5 seconds. I'd be like, oh, so creeped out and eeked. And not just by the scary photos. It'd be by all the dirt and yuckiness. And so, yeah, guys, that's today's one. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry it's so long, but it's just worked out that way today. And yes, I'm not going to say I'm doing simple tags anymore because they always turned into something complicated. But day 13 is done. And I will be back again soon. Links will be down below for everybody I mentioned. I'll be back again soon for another one. But until next time, guys, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having lots and lots of crafty, spooky fun. Bye.